Good evening, everyone. Today is Sunday, February 7th, 2021. I think these are electric charge ports, points, I guess. In just leaving from Waikea Shopping Center, and it's 68 degrees. It's about 11 p.m. And I'm about to head towards where I live, which is near Waikea Elementary School. Right now you can see the gas station over here. I think gas is about $3.50. I realize most of the time I usually end up having to warm up before I can talk about just start talking about stuff. Let's see, today was Super Bowl day. So it was kind of quiet today. You know, people are at home this afternoon. And tomorrow I have some work. And then Tuesday off. Oh, I remember on my way here, and this actually came up today in conversation with someone. On my way here, on my way here, I was talking about how the Big Island, on the Big Island, it's definitely easier to be gainfully employed off of kind of basic work in the community, like in the neighborhood, like landscaping, and performing basic tasks for people, like taking out trash, trimming their bushes, I don't know, cleaning, cooking. I feel like cooking is a big one here. I actually met an Uber driver a few weeks ago who is from, I want to say, Washington State, and he'd lived on Kauai for about 4 years. and he had an art degree. I think he may have had like an art PhD. Probably like in his early or mid 30s. But living on the islands that are the islands that are not the main islands. Like living on Maui or the Big Island or Kauai or any of the other smaller islands. They're not gonna have need for. There's just not enough like business, not enough like corporations situated on the islands that are not the main island, and so it's very easy to find yourself, even if you do have good credentials, without any means for work other than unskilled labor. Even currently, at the market that I work at, I know people who have backgrounds in like engineering and computer science, but there just are not enough companies here on the Big Island looking for looking for anyone with like those kinds of technical skills. And so it's easy to so it's hard to I would say it's harder to find like jobs that require like highly skilled jobs, but it's easy to be gainfully employed off of just about any kind of like basic labor or skill set that you have. I mentioned earlier that like if you happen to know Spanish and you offer lessons, you'll most likely be like one of like two people on the whole island that offers lessons. So it wouldn't be too difficult for people to find you and work with you. And it's more or less the same with everything, It's interesting. Right now I don't hear the frogs. I don't hear the cookies. And I realize that while they may be somewhat nocturnal, these frogs don't. I don't know if they stay up all night, but they certainly don't chirp all night. They usually wake up and start. Yeah, there we go. You can hear them. They usually wake up and start chirping right as the sun is going down, like at 6 or 7 p.m. And I feel like they'll go pretty steady up until maybe around 11. Like very active chirping up until like like around 11 at night, and then they seem to like quiet down and like take a break. I guess I'll have to watch a documentary or something. Right now, I was about to go and see if the local Japanese supermarket, KTA, is open. I don't know, they used to stay, at least a few weeks ago, they used to stay open until midnight all the time. And now, lately, I think they've been on the first. But yeah, Super Bowl Sunday was quiet. I do not follow sports, but I have an idea about what was going on. And so I basically heard that Tom Brady's team ended up winning. So that definitely lets you know how valuable a player he is. You know, even at his age, at 42, to leave the Patriots and go to another team. I don't even know which team it was. I really don't follow football. Well, what was it? The Florida? What was it? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers or something? I'm not sure. But yeah, to be able to leave the Patriots and you know you and still bring a team to a championship. Is that what they're called in football? Championships. And you know that he was a powerful player, you know? Okay. I am like trying to, with my limited vision, scope out and see whether there's any security guards standing at the grocery store. I'm just seeing plants. No, it doesn't look like there is anyone there. Security guards let me know. Look, that's the gas. The gas on the Big Island. About $3.50. It was about $1.80 per gallon where I was living in Georgia before I moved here. It certainly looks like they're closed. Yeah, they're closed. Alright, I'm gonna have to find out what their hours are. I mentioned in previous videos, KTA is owned by a Japanese family that started this market about 100 years ago. So it's definitely a staple. On the Big Island, I assume they're on the other islands too, if they've been around 100 years. But yeah, because of that, they've kind of got like a wider selection than other markets of like Asian foods. A wider selection of like poke and like Japanese foods and Korean foods, and Chinese foods. But every single marketplace here that I've been to so far is still like there's a little H Mart in every single marketplace that I've been to here. You know, whether it's Sack and Save, which is just the standard supermarket, KTA, which is the Japanese supermarket, Island Naturals, which is like the Whole Foods, 7-Eleven, you know, gas stations that are here, like they all have like different kinds of Asian foods, a lot of like Korean food and Japanese food, and Chinese foods and some Filipino food. And I feel like the other primary mixture of foods are Latino and American foods in Hawaii. They've got like some Portuguese foods here, Portuguese influence. You know, like you can get Portuguese sausage for breakfast in a lot of places, including McDonald's. You can get noodles at McDonald's, like miso soup and barbecue pork, like inside like noodles and miso. It's called saimin. And then, as far as ube is concerned, that's the other thing. This purple yam, like, I mean, you know, I remember a few years ago when it became really popular, or maybe it circled back around again, you know, in culinary circles, and like you started seeing it in New York, like, you know, like ube at ice cream shops and stuff, and I don't know, all kinds of expensive ube cakes and things like that. And then when I came out here, I was just surprised to see that it's like even more expensive, even though I believe it's native to here. And personally, I don't know, having grown up with like eating like yams, like normal orange yams, just based on taste alone, I feel like they could lower the price of ube treats. There's all kinds of ube stuff: ube ice cream, ube cookies, ube cake, ube pastries of all sorts, that are out here, and they all seem a little bit overpriced. I assume it has to do with how rare it is. Like I don't know that ube really grows as easily or in the same manner as other yams, but they could bring the price down about 20% for what it tastes like, which is like sweet potato. Tastes like sweet yams. The other day at the supermarket, I saw something called red velvet pound cake. That looked pretty crazy. I'd never seen a red pound cake before, but it looked like it was done correctly. Red velvet cake is traditionally from the South. I'm not sure. It might even be from Georgia. I'm not sure. But it's a rich chocolate cake dyed red, and it turns out the color ends up being like a deep red. And then the frosting is supposed to be a cream cheese frosting, and the chocolate and cream cheese combine to make a nice flavor together. But a lot of places, especially up north, that don't know what red velvet cake is supposed to be, they just take vanilla cake, like white cake, like ordinary cake, and just dye it bright red, and then put vanilla frosting on it, like white vanilla frosting on it, and say that it's red velvet. And they do it at a lot of restaurants. And it's a little bit embarrassing. It's a little bit embarrassing for me to see as a customer, like an establishment that's like preparing something and serving it to other people that doesn't know like what the dish is that they're serving up. Thankfully up north, a lot of people don't know. They don't know. A lot of the customers also don't know what it's supposed to be, so they can kind of get away with it. But in any case, I only just recently found out that the pidgin dialect of English that Hawaiians speak here apparently is a type of Creole. So now that I found that out, I'm going to have to go and do some research because I'd be curious to learn about the history of it. Quiet night tonight, Sunday night. I think Monday there's some kind of crazy weather system that has settled from Canada, like settled in from the north down onto the mainland. That's supposed to bring temperatures of like minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. To the northern part of the Midwest, and it's supposed to bring just a really bad cold snap to a big chunk of the nation. I think in Georgia, where I moved from, temperatures will be down in the 20s for the high, or it'll feel like it's in the 20s. And then in New York, it's supposed to be like 9 degrees. And once it hits once it hits temperatures like once it hits temperatures like 9 degrees, that's when it's just, I feel like anything below like 20 degrees, once we start hitting like 16 degrees, and then of course below 10 degrees, like, it's just quite painful. It looks like I've been seeing just a little bit of like, how to say, yeah, once it's like 9 degrees out, it's really painful. I'm just starting to see that they have clothes now. They're finally, it's finally becoming more common to see like affordable heated clothes, like heated gloves. Like electronically heated gloves, and so if they can just get the pricing down for heated clothing, I think electronically heated gloves are about $75, and you had better believe that 9 degrees will cut through the heat on those gloves. And so once they get it to where they have properly heated clothes, where the technology is good and the cost is low, then I think it won't be no thing. I'm sorry my camera is not good enough to be able to show you guys the stars out here. I said it in only one other video, but I would say that compared to someplace like Georgia, like not in the city but out of the city of Georgia, outside of Atlanta, where there are stars that are a little bit more visible, I would say that here on the Big Island, so far I feel like I can see about 10% more stars, like significant enough that I notice that there's more stars visible, but still not that many more. My guess is that the north is lacking in stars compared to the southern hemisphere of the Earth. I think once you get to the equator, you start to get like much more spectacular shows in terms of stars. And here we are back at Waikea Elementary School. Sometimes kids hang out here skateboarding late, but not tonight. I think it's just when school is out of session. Alright guys, quiet video for tonight. We'll check in with everyone tomorrow. Later.